What is up, Dragon Ball Super fans? Axel here from Team Just Saying, bringing you another deck profile. Today, we have the deck that everybody's been asking for. Yes, I finally got the deck profile from my teammate Raul. He finally told me, here's a deck, post it, let them know what they've been asking, and here it is. Super 17. Y'all saw the deck play against me when I was playing Shenron Veggies. It's really good. It controls your opponent's hand so much in the fact that it consistently drops your opponent's hand with crits, with effects that drop your opponent's hands, and they attack hard with big beaters. So Super 17 auto burst to, you must place the top 2 cards of your deck in your drop area to activate this skill. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. Yeah, it might seem a little bit like too much for it, but the reason you're dropping is for other cards in the deck that allow you to, that have a condition that you need to have a certain amount of cards in your drop, or you need to have a certain card in your drop to evolve. So that's the effect on that. Awakening. When your life is at 4 or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode, and flip this card over. Awakened side is Super 17 Evil Entwined. Auto. Sparking 5. The skill takes effect when you have 5 or more cards in your drop area. When this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gains critical for the duration of the turn. This goes back to what I was saying about the deck controlling your opponent's hand. You really do not want your opponent to have cards in hand that can hurt you when you're trying to go for game. So the fact that this card gains critical just by only having 5 cards in the drop is very good. And not only does he have crit if you have 5, but you also draw a card, so you're advancing your hand advantage to get all your combo pieces in hand. Also, the other reason why this card is really good is because there's a lot of decks right now, like Hercule. There's sometimes I've seen the Victory Strike deck. They have a lot of cards in hand, a lot of combo pieces. Then there's Announcer. We don't know if Announcer is going to be a thing next set or this set coming up, but they have a lot of hand advantage as well. Shenron does do a lot of draws on some decks that I've seen, some profiles. They do draw a lot. So the reason why this deck is so really good at hand control for your against your opponent is because the activate main. If your opponent has 10 or more cards in hand, your opponent places cards from their hand to their drop area until they have 9 cards. So let's say your opponent has like 16 cards. If they're playing Hercule, they're gonna have to drop 7 cards, and that is very hard on a Hercule player or anybody that needs that hand advantage to combo out something, or to get their combo pieces. So the fact that this leader does it for free, if it basically does it for free if your opponent has that many cards, if it meets the requirement, it's just nuts to me. So yeah, Super 17, very good leader. Now let's get to the deck profile. So since we are playing Android leader, we're gonna be playing the Cell engine. Pretty basic engine. Union Absorb, place 117 under this card, and you evolve into a 5-drop Cell. Before we get into anything else, I do want to explain the counterplay on Union Absorb. So you have your opponent has 2 openings to counterplay: an initial Union Absorb activation, and when the card is played out already. So example, let's say you play Growing Evil Lifeform Cell. You activate Union Absorb and you place your 17 under the card. You ask your opponent any counters. If your opponent says yes, Cold Bloodlust if they're playing a Frieza's Army leader, or Crusher Ball, you say either okay, you evolve into the 5-drop, or you say no targets, choose not to evolve. Then if you choose not to evolve, you can place another Android 17 under the Growing Evil Lifeform cell and carry on the Union Absorb and play that 5-drop out. So your opponent has two windows. It has at initial Union Absorb or when card is already played. If they decide not to counter the first time the card comes into play, its autos or any effect that it has when it's played do carry out. After they carry out, they will be negated or they will go to rest mode depending on what counterplay is played. So just wanted to explain that. If you guys still had any questions about it, or if you're a new player and someone has told you that ruling and you don't get it, just wanted to explain that to everybody. So after the 4, we're playing 4 Evolving Evil Lifeform Cell. Again, if you've been playing the game for a while, pretty self-explanatory why you play 4 of each one. It's a Union Absorb, place 118 under this, evolve into a cell from your deck and place it on top of this card, shuffle your deck afterwards. It's a double strike, and then it also has an auto. When this card is played with Union, draw 1 card and choose up to 1 opponent's battle card and KO that card. So if there's problematic cards on the board that don't have barrier, you can use this as an out and knock that card out. So after the 4, we're playing 4 Perfect Force Cell. So it has an evolve of 6, but you tend not to evolve after you already made it to this card unless your opponent gets a bigger hand and you just want to drop another 7-drop cell on top of this to drop their hand to 3 again. He's a double strike. Auto, when you play this card, if your leader card is an android, your opponent must choose cards in their hand until there are only 3 remaining and they place the rest of the cards in the drop area. Pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, and I keep saying, the deck is about hand control and controlling your opponent's hand and not letting them have a big hand. So, of course, you're going to be playing the force of each cell because this is the best hand controlled if your opponent has a big hand. So 4 of each. After that, we're playing the cells, so we need our androids to Union Absorb. We're playing Dreadful Duo Android 17. He's a critical, so again, hand advantage. We're dropping their life and they won't be adding those cards to hand. Also, the reason why Dreadful Duo is so good is because of his once per turn activate main. If his requirements are met, which is if an opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less has been placed in the drop area from any areas by one of your skills, choose up to 1 Android 18 with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. So, again, Perfect Force Cell drops your hand. The Super 17s drop your opponent's hand. So, most likely you are going to be resolving this effect to play your 18s on to your field. After the Dreadful Duo Android 17, we're playing another 17, which is a new 17 from set 5, Endless Malice Android 17. His auto is Burst 3, so you drop the top 3 cards of your deck. It gains 5k and critical. So again, critical. Most of this deck has a lot of criticals that you want to play out to drop your opponent's life or have them to use their resources so they won't take the hit. Again, either way you see it, you are getting advantage of the card. Either they out combo it and they use combo pieces, or they take the hit and they drop a card. So critical is very good in this deck. After the Endless Malice Android 17, we're playing Dreadful Duo Android 18. Again, critical, like I said, activate main once per turn, tap 1 green. If her requirement is met, which is if a battle card with an energy cost of 4 or more has been placed in your drop area, from any area by one of your skills, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO that card. Again, this card can get rid of problematic cards if you're having trouble getting rid of them, or if you see some threat on the board. If the requirements are met, you tap 1 green and you knock something out, and it's playable for free by 1 energy by Android 17 Dreadful Duo. So really good combo there. After the Dreadful Duo Android 18, we're playing Deadly Defender Android 18. This card is really good in the aspects of she defends you, because when this card is in rest mode, your opponent cannot attack your leader because she's played. She's a barrier, but she loses 5,000 power. But it does stall your opponent because they have to knock this out first before they do anything. So that's our combo pieces for our Cell engine. After our Cell engine, we're playing our Super 17 engine. We're playing 3 of each of these because, like I said, other than the Cell they have to be in your deck. The Super 17s don't. They evolve either from your hand, or Union Absorb from your hand, or your drop area. So 3 of them is good because, like I said, they're recyclable and they activate from both areas. So we're playing 3 Hellfighter 17 Evil Revived. He Union Absorbs, place 1 Android 17 card from your hand or drop area under this card. Choose up to 1 Super 17 card with an energy cost of 4 from your deck or drop area and place it on top of this card. Then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So actually, the 17, the starting combo, actually plays it from deck or drop area. So that's good. So after that, when you activate the Union Absorb, you're going into Super 17 to further heights. This guy is, when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Again, he is a board clear on problematic cards. So that effect is very, very good because you're playing him for free just out of the 3-drop. So his Union Absorb is 2 green, 2 of any other. Choose 1 Cell card from your hand or drop area and place it under this card. Choose up to 1 Super 17 card with an energy cost of 6 from your deck or drop area and play it on top of this card. Then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this card, it requires a Cell. That's what I was saying. The burst in the deck is not as bad as you think because a lot of your cards do take effect to those cards being in the grave. Like this one needs a Cell in grave, or it needs it from hand. So if you're dropping those cards, you know, it might seem bad at first, but you can get advantage from them later on when you're playing this. Also, not only do they Union Absorb, but they both have barrier. So early on game, if your opponent has a small hand, it's best to play the Hellfighter Super 7, the Super 17 engine, because they have barriers, so you can sit on them, and then after you play them, let's say turn 4, you can play your Cell engine and drop their hand if they have way more. But it's best if they have a small hand to play the Super 17 engine because of that barrier and barrier deflect, so they can't be chosen by any effect. So the 4-drop plays are Super 17 Cell Absorbed. He's critical, dual attack, deflect, and his auto is Sparkling 10. When this card attacks, if your leader card is green, Android card, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in their drop area. This card is very, very good in the aspect that it's a critical. Again, you controlling your opponent's life and hand. It's a dual attack, and the card drops 2 cards from your opponent's hand. So again, if you're playing this early game, maybe turn 4, you're gonna be controlling your opponent's hand very, very, harshly, because when he attacks, if you have 10 cards in your drop, your opponent is going to have to drop those 2 cards, even if they negate, because it just says when this card attacks. So it doesn't even matter if he's attacking, a small card, a big card, as long as he attacks. So that effect of Super 17 is very, very good in the aspect that he has to, you're controlling your opponent's hand. After that, we're playing, of course, our super combos. That's going to be Android 16. When you're going for gaming, your opponent only has 2 cards, maybe 3 cards, and you're going to, hit them hard. If they say no combos, you're going to drop all their hand to 0, especially if you're attacking with critical. Reason that being because if you're attacking with a critical and you drop their hand to 0, they have no combo pieces, nothing. So you're going to attack, they're going to drop that. Then you're going to attack again with another critical. They have no response for that, no negates, no combo pieces, nothing. So they're going to drop, and that's how you're going to win in this deck. Attacking with your criticals while your opponent has 0 cards in hand, or the minimal amount of cards in hand because of the crit. Because, I mean, what can you do when you have no cards and your opponent's attacking with a crit? You're not going to be adding cards to hand, so they really have no response to that. Now we're going to move on to some tech choices that my teammate actually had, which is Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan. If you guys saw the video of me explaining the rulings about this card, you guys know how gnarly this card is. The fact that every time your opponent summons or plays a card using a non-keyword skill, and they have to drop 2 cards every time they do it, is broken. The reason why this card fits so good in this deck is because it controls your opponent's hand, and they're just dropping, and it's not a once per turn either. It's whenever they play the 15k power card using, autos or activate mains. So 3 of those. If you have this and the cell engine, it's crazy the amount of cards that your opponent's gonna be dropping. After that, we're playing Android 20 Val Creator. This card is an auto. When you combo with this card during your turn, choose up to one of your attacking green Android cards, and it gets 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. You're only playing 2 of these because the card that you want to give double strike to is your Super 17 Cell Absorb, most likely. Reason why is because if you read Android 20 Val Creator, it says not for the duration of the battle, but for the duration of the turn. That means the whole turn. So Super 17 has dual attack and critical. Not only that, he also has the effect to drop 2 cards from your opponent's hand. So when you attack with Super 17 first, attack into leader. Any negates? No negates. So he's a critical. Your opponent drops 2 cards. Okay. Combo 1, double strike and negates 5,000. They take the hit, restand, attack again, another critical, double strike, and they drop 2 cards. So it's a 4. They drop 4 cards from hand, and it's a potential 4 critical. So that is really, really good. After the Android 20, we're playing Infernal Messenger. Reason why we play this card is because of this card is why we can play both engines. Infernal Messenger effect reads: activate main. Your leader card is a green Android card. Look up to 10 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to a total of 2 Android 17, Hellfighter 17s, or Super 17 cards among them, and add them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So, this card is very, very good to the aspect where you can add a lot of your combo pieces to hand. If you want to play the Super 17 engine and you're looking for your Hellfighters, play this turn 1, boom, you get your Hellfighter. If you want to play your Cell engine first and you're looking for your 17s, you're looking for your Dreadful Dual Android 17, or you're looking for your Endless Malice Android 17, boom, you add 2 of those. So again, that's the reason. Because of this card, we're playing both engines because it makes both engines possible to play. And then our last card is going to be our Negates. We're playing 4 Shocking Death Ball. Honestly, this card is amazing. You can be tapped out and still play it just by taking a life. So, you're going to be, defending yourself. Again, you're going to be dropping their hand. So, yeah, they might summon a big card and you could take the hit, or you can have your Deadly Defender Android 18 and protect yourself from that hit. So, in the deck, you have that chance or that ability to take that life and activate this effect for free. Not only does it negate the attack, it also knocks out a battle card that has 2 or less energy. So again, really good card, and it knocks out problematic cards. Like in Storm, if they're attacking with the Goten, negate it, knock it out. So card is very amazing, and recommend playing for that card for sure. So mostly that's the deck profile on the Android or Super 17 deck. So far the deck has been playing very good. So there's still testing going on it. So if anything changes, if my teammate Raul lets me know of any updates, we're gonna update you guys and let you know what has been changed, what we added, what ratios we've changed. But I want to thank my teammate Raul so much, because I let him know that you guys wanted to see this deck profile, so he gave it to me. He let me explain it to you guys to the best of my ability and the best that I could for you guys, because a lot of you guys have been asking for this deck profile. So I want to thank him in the video, and personally I'm gonna thank him as well for the video or for the deck profile, because I know you guys wanted this deck profile, so I'm gonna thank him so much. But again, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for everything that you guys done. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys liked the deck profile. I hope you guys build the deck and test it out for yourself and see how good and what potential this deck has, because it has a lot of potential of even possibly being meta, because of the fact that it does control your opponent's hand so much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be updated on more videos like these, deck profiles, matches. Maybe once in a while I do a blog of me and the team doing stuff. Maybe playing some matches, showing you guys who we are, what we're doing. Yeah, anything like that. But again, thank you guys for the support. Keep it coming. I enjoy answering all your comments. I enjoy playing with a lot of people on Untapped, and letting them know that we're making videos, showing them decks and everything. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and peace. I'm out.